Hey, thanks for renting the RV. Let's get you started. If you need to level the rig, the leveling blocks are found in this lower compartment. Simply open the slide here. It's got a magnet latch at the top, and you can pull out as many blocks as you need. The yellow blocks are single for the front, and the black blocks are double for the back. Let me show you how to set it up. Usually they work in threes, so what you'll do is you'll build a pyramid. So one next to each other with one in the center. Once you get to that, the height will be actually 3 inches. Place the blocks in front of your back wheels and do the same thing with the yellow blocks in the front. Well, the first thing you want to do is hook up your power. So the power on this rig is located down in this compartment down here. You don't have to open it up. You can actually just slide this little part here, and you'll notice it has a 30 amp connection. So usually, to make sure that we have a surge protector on there, inside the storage above it, you'll have a amperage protector in the electrical box. So inside the electrical box, you'll see that you can plug this unit into the surge protector. The reason we do this is not all sites have proper wiring, and this will tell you if there's ever going to be a fault. Then take it over to your power pedestal. At the power pedestal, you'll notice there's usually a 30 amp and a 50 amp service. This is the 3-prong 30 amp service that when plugged in, you'll notice the surge guard will tell you by the green lights if it is functioned correctly. That now supplies power for the entire rig. Let's begin opening the slides. The rig has a lot of exterior storage. The biggest is underneath the bed area here on the slide. And by opening this up with the top, as long as the keyed lock is open, you can notice not only do the LED lights come on immediately inside, but it's got a folding gate leg table and lots of storage. You shouldn't have to fill fresh water, but if you need to, there's simply a opening on the side. You open it up and stick a garden hose with a filter that's provided to fill up your fresh water tank. You like to keep it about 1/3 full to 2/3, and that's only used when you're dry camping or when you're traveling down the road. There is some additional outside storage as well as a outside TV in this compartment here. If it's unlocked at the top, you simply twist the handle. It's got a magnet latch on the outside. The TV can be pulled out. If you put your hands on the top and the bottom, it can come out almost to the exterior, and the remote can be found in a small compartment on the side. Now that you have your awning tool, let's show you how to make this work. The awning is a manual one. There is no button on the inside control panel to open it, so there's 3 steps that you need to do to start this. The first step is to loosen the twist knob behind each leg. Then just pinch the 2 plastic tabs on each side. That will make sure that this is loosened. So once those are loosened, you simply grab your tool, and at the very top of the awning, there is a button that you pull toward you. That releases the awning so that you can grab it and begin to pull it out. We're not done yet. Now, extend the arms so they latch at the very top. Once they latch, tighten down your knobs. If you want to raise and lower the extensions, the handle at the bottom can be pulled toward you and push it all the way up. It'll latch at any one of these stop points. Now be careful, when the door is open, it will slam into this awning unless you're careful. Sometimes you can put a towel or just be aware that you don't want it to swing all the way. One additional thing that you might want to do, there is a button here. Be very careful with it. When you push this up, it will release the awning from the coach itself. Then you can slide this forward and place it on the ground. Well, let's talk about hooking up the water. In the back compartment, again, you have a choice of 2 hoses. The blue hose is usually a shorter one, and the white hose, both workable for drinking water, is both located inside here. So there's usually a water filter that comes with it, and at the end you'll notice it has a direction. The water should be flowing in this direction. Connecting this to your coach, you'll want to use an L-shaped connector. Using the L-shaped or the bendy connector, I would attach this to the coach first. It is found here where it says City Water Connection. Twist it on until it gets tight, and then firm it up so that you're not leaking. That flexibility will allow it to put the filter onto this spot. But before you hook up the filter, let's hook up the water to the spigot on the park. Hooking up the hose is a pretty simple process. Everybody can do it. I don't know why I'm even telling you how to do this, but don't turn the water on until you get it hooked up to the coach. The positive pressure of the water, once it's hooked up to the coach, will provide all the water pressure you need. You don't need to have the pump running in the coach. Now, once you've gotten that hooked up, go ahead and use the yellow or the orange connector to get your water filter connected. Make sure it's secure, and then you can turn on the water and check for leaks. No leaks. A couple other interesting features. A lot of these little black things are either magnetic holders, or this one, when you pull it out, can hold the thing up. This is an outdoor shower. Got a magnet on there. If you want to use it for yourself after an event of the day, or washing off the dog, it's got an outside holder here, or you can keep it on the inside as well. Let's show you how to hook up the sewer. First, you want to make sure that you have, if you need it, the right amount of slope to make sure that everything drains to the sewer line. So locate at the park where your sewer line is going, and then locate on the coach how to connect it. You'll notice on the inside there is a black and a gray handle. The black handle represents the toilet water. The gray handle is all of your shower and sink water. They should both be all the way in. If either one is pulled out, you're going to get a surprise when you open this up. So this is just a storage cover. Once this is where you're going to hook up what they call the stinky slinky. So that is located in the bumper. So the bumper has an end cap that can be opened, and you'll find the sewer line, as you pull it out, is hidden inside there. That keeps any kind of stink or smell on the exterior of your coach. So inside a plastic bag, you'll find the end caps or the connectors for the sewer line. So you might want to wear gloves or something protective as you start to deal with this sewer. So most parks will have a threaded sewer connection. Unscrew the base, screw in your connection until it faces the coach. So one end of your sewer pipe will have the knobs that will attach into the sewer line connector, and this side will attach to your coach itself. In order to keep slope, I've got an extender here that actually can be separated to make sure that this slopes down towards the sewer line. With all the connections being made, what I like to do is to keep the black tank or black valve closed for the entire trip, but I like to open the gray. That allows any kind of shower water or anything to go ahead and drain down through the service. That way you're not filling up your existing gray tank. It's important for your gray and black tank valves to never be open at the same time. Keep both closed, or keep your gray open if you're connected to the sewer line. You don't want to cross-contaminate from the black to the gray. The other thing is there's always chemicals in the black tank, and it works better actually if there's more liquid in the black tank, because solids tend to land and stay in the same place. So we want to make sure that there's some flow to that as well. All right, so we're in the interior of the camper. You can notice that the front windows are going to remain open, but if you want some privacy, look above the door, and there's a bag that has a cover that would go on the exterior. Let me show you how to hook it up. All right, once you've taken it out of the bag, you can see it unrolls, and there's two spots that have Velcro. This is where the mirrors will go. So undo those, and look, there's a magnet and a loop here. This loop goes onto the door frame itself. So open up the door, put the loop on the top, magnet at the bottom, and you can close your door. Once the door is closed, find your spot where your mirror goes and drape it over. Driver's side mirror can be attached. And then, once you feel like it's protected, open up your driver's side door, latch it, gently close the door, and you are secure. All right, moving to the interior of the rig, let's talk about the control panel. So on this side, you can see it's got the upstairs part here, the top here is your antenna for your TV. So this has a special feature where you can simply tell it to search, and it'll actually spin the antenna around, find the strongest signal, and point in that direction. That'll help you for any kind of TV viewing. Underneath here, you see there's a row of buttons at the very bottom. The first one is for the generator. If you're not plugged into shore power and you needed AC for either running the air conditioner or for other needs that you might have, what you do is you hold the bottom of the button of the toggle switch until you get a little red light. Then you push this top button and hold it until the generator starts. It's an easy way to make it happen. The slide for the exterior, the dinette and the couch, is located right here. The water pump. If you're dry camping or you're on your way and need water to flow from your fresh tank into the areas of your sink or your toilet, make sure your water pump is on. If the pump is on, you'll notice the red light above it. The next one is your LP gas. The only way to have hot water in here is to turn on that button. That button will tell you, you'll hear a pilot light go for the gas area, and it's over underneath the dinette area, and you can hear the water heater starting to heat. Up top, you can see it gives you your coach batteries. These are two batteries underneath where I'm standing, that first step. You hit it again, and you can see how much water is in your fresh tank, which this one says 2/3. Your black tank is empty. Your gray tank is empty. And then your liquid propane, or LP, has a measurement. This one's a 1/4. You won't have to refill that. Hopefully that'll all be full for you on your trip, so you shouldn't have to mess with propane. There's a bank of switches right underneath the cabinet. The very first one controls the first 3 lights in the coach. The second button is for the exterior light. This light is for the driver's side. It has a small light that helps you see when you're making your connections at the campsite. Driving the rig is a pretty simple process, and with the screens covered here, it might make it easier to see. Over on the driver's side, there's a button at the very top here. This is for your heated mirrors. Those are for the exterior mirrors to turn on and heat. And then, of course, you toggle back and forth and can power control your mirrors here. You got power windows in the front as well as power door locks. Way down here, there is a contactor that says emergency. And what that means is if the battery on the rig goes down, you can actually hold that down and still start your car using the coach batteries if they have a charge. The interior, the drivers with the cruise control is pretty well simple. You've got your windshield wipers as well as your lights controls. Now, one thing is once you turn on your lights for the rig and you turn on this switch on this side, not only do you have USB charging, but it turns on your exterior or your rear view camera. Now, what that will do, that will allow you to see what's going on behind your rig, even while you're driving. The AC control is pretty simple. You've got your fan as well as your temperature controls, as well as what toggles through here. If you don't want this and you're in the interior, you can certainly power that down with that button here. And I would suggest you, unless you actually need that, because it will drain the main battery in the fan, I would keep that down as well as your headlights off. However, the radio, using this on-off button here, can be turned on and toggled through whatever you need. There are 2 speakers here, and there's also 2 speakers above the bed. And I have yet to figure out how to disconnect those back speakers, so if you're listening to music up front, anybody in the back is going to be listening to music too. The last thing to point out is a tire pressure gauge monitoring. What you want to do is you'll notice that on there, it tells you the front tire pressure as well as the tandem in the back, or rather the dually in the back tire pressure. Keep an eye on it. Sometimes the signal gets lost a little bit, but you should be able to figure that out. So if you need any 12-volt power, that's located up here as well. All right, let's talk about the overcab bed. Usually it's just the ladder and the pad that you'll need to relocate. So the ladder can be stored. You can see there's hooks on the top side here. And then simply having this pad slide forward, we'll lock it into place here. Pat, and then these guys go into these little holders, giving you a secure place to climb up into the bedding. Now, this is way bigger than most beds, so I'm trying to find sheets that fit this, but otherwise, please put something down. A blanket, sleeping bags, make sure the kids aren't sleeping directly on top of the pad itself. Moving our way into the camper, you'll notice the kitchen has a large set of drawers. The utensils located in one, different things for the kitchen, as well as storage for different items, including the coffee maker. Coffee maker can be found underneath the sink. When you pull it out, there is a plug up underneath here that can be plugged into. All right, in the kitchen, above is where you have most of your pots and pans. You've got any kind of bowls and cups, things that you may need. There's 2 coffee cups as well as a small pot for cooking. These plates can be microwavable as well. They're made out of bamboo, according to my wife. She liked them. Make sure they get cleaned and put back when you're done. Feel free to use them. The sink is a double basin sink. We'll usually have some kind of soap dispenser here. And then obviously the hot and cold water just simply work with the turn of a handle. Paper towels at the top here. Inside this cover, it's a 2-fold system. You roll it back, and then you've got a 3-burner, and all the burners are controlled by the front here. If you need to light them or whatever, you turn that valve on, and then hit the spark connector, and your connections for the gas line will raise and lower it. I usually travel with this thing down just to prevent anything else from rattling around. There is a fan on this unit, and it goes directly out, but it's a little bit noisy, so sometimes I keep that off. The microwave oven is a good unit here. I usually try to keep a pool noodle inside just to keep this glass thing from bouncing around too much, but simply pushing open and close from that button on that side. Up above, you do have a nice griddle or frying pan. Well, I guess it's a griddle that has the electrical connections that can be set up over on the other side or used exterior. To open and close the fridge freezer, you push in with your thumb and pull out. You have your freezer space as well as 7 cubic foot of refrigerator space down below. There's a thermometer to make sure you can check what your temperatures are, but it should be pretty well set. Then on the side here, you have a ample pull-out pantry for storing all your canned goods or chips or whatever else you'd like there. That should lock in to place so you can travel down the road and not lose anything there. And then underneath the stove, which if you hope to use the stove, you do have to use a lighter to light underneath there. It does not self-light with the spark arrestor. We've got some pots and pans, smaller ones they can use for cooking. Simply make sure that you wash them up before you finish up with your trip. All right, one of the most important things in the rig is a broom. You'll have to use this daily. It's got a dustpan attached, so that's usually located right here next to the door, as well as your fire extinguisher. If there's ever an emergency, that is fully charged and ready to go. The shades are a pretty easy way. They just simply pull up and down in an accordion style. Please do not cut any of the cords, otherwise it's a big hassle. Now the couch, if you want to move the couch into the bed, it's a pretty simple process. You simply pull these off. They're attached by Velcro. Put them off to the side. You lift up down at the very bottom, and then you pull, kind of wiggle towards yourself, and that folds into the bed. And you'll notice there is a gap back here. You can either fold this down to cover up the gap, or you can put the pillows back in that spot. If you need to access the seat belts for this, they are down below here. You can pull them up. There are a set of 3 seat belts. They're only lap belts, but this is where you'd connect them. I like to leave them down there. But then putting it away, you lift kind of from the center a little bit, wiggle it down. But you'll notice right here at the bottom, there's a little lip on this edge. You want to make sure when it goes back in that these feet go behind that lip. Otherwise, the couch tends to sag. All right, the back of the rig has a queen-size bed. If you haven't reserved the sheets, please provide your own. But there are 2 reading lights that can be controlled by buttons on the bottom of them here, as well as a toggle switch for the light at the top. Now, it is a walk-around bed, but during transit, it needs to be folded in. The button to move the slide is located here, and we'll extend it in for travel, or if you push the top, it'll extend it all the way out. And you can hear it kind of grind and make some noise, and you'll know it's done when it actually kind of hums a little bit and it comes to a stop. We're done. The bed itself is has a pillow top mattress on it, the memory foam pillow top mattress. And inside the cubby holes on each side, it has a place for storage, like the TV remote. All right, the fuse box is located underneath the bed. Simply pull your sheets back, and you can see if there's a breaker that pops or a fuse that goes out, the fuses will have a little red light. There are extra fuses in the front glove compartment. You can change those out, or if the breaker needs to be reset, make sure you go all the way off with it before you try to push it back to on. But this, hopefully you won't have to mess with. All right, let's talk about the dinette. All right, the dinette can be lowered into a bed if you so wish. All of these pads have some Velcro on the bottom. You can release those as well as pull the pads off of the sides here. And underneath here, this little toggle, what it does is it usually locks into the up position, but when you move it down, it allows the tabletop to be forced down. And then that, once you lay the cushions into that position, can create a pretty comfortable bed. Again, once it puts up there, make sure that locks into position. Otherwise, when you sit down, your food will go down with you. Underneath, we've got a few different areas of storage if you want to put stuff. And there's also seat belts on the back side of this, lap belts for the 6th and 7th passengers on your trip. All right, let's talk about the thermostat real quick. It's a pretty simple unit, just like your house. Toggle up, down to your heat, cool, whatever temperatures you want. And then you have your fan speed, which is high and low. Try not to put it down too low. Could freeze up the unit, and we don't want that happening. All right, moving towards the back. Let's go into the bathroom. Notice that the bathroom door, when it's closed all the way, it actually latches, and that allows the shower and the bathroom to be seen as one unit, as well as if you wanted to unclip this accordion door, it could provide some privacy from the back bedroom as well. It creates a pretty large area for you to use as a bathroom. Now, the bathroom itself is a pull handle, not a foot flush toilet. So there's a handle in the back that will allow you to pull safety, and that will allow the toilet to flush when you're done. There's a trash can as well as extra toilet paper down below. And on this side, you do have power underneath for hair dryers or razors, as well as power along the wall, and your toggle switch for your light switch here, as well as some hand soap and a lot of storage up top. All right, let's talk a little bit more about the shower. So when the bathroom door is completely open, it gives you some privacy from the rest of the cab. And the shower door, you simply pull towards you, and it gives you access. You'll notice you do have to step up about a foot. There's plenty of headroom with the skylight up above, and then the handles, hot and cold water, are pretty simple, as well as the shower head that actually has a turn on and turn off for water conservation.